Cobra 6 is Soldier Heart 1, come in over. Soldier Heart 1, this is Cobra 6, send it over. Roger, Cobra 6, we are Recon 1 at this time, permission to move out. Roger that, permission granted. Good copy, Soldier Heart, out.
Yeah, Soldier Heart, y'all. I'm on this long road to recovery. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to my world, y'all. Yeah, rock with me. You see, I've been through it all. I'm fighting in wars, but I died for freedom. That's a real good cause. I said yes, cause the mother said no. There's a war going on, did me right for let's go. They trained me to kill, yeah, they called me the kill machine. Now I'm out, look what this war did to me. I keep fighting cause I need a change. I know deep down inside, yeah, ain't the same. I wanna be like I used to. I wanna smile, I wanna laugh, yeah, you're like I'm supposed to. But I'm someone can get close to. I walk alone by myself, don't speak, I don't know you. I just really wanna get away and keep popping Percocet pills just to take the pain away. Yeah, nobody understands me or even really care enough about me. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just wanna be all alone, don't bother me. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just want the pain to go away, far away from me. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just wanna be all alone, don't bother me. Your time is hella hard, it's slowing down my pace, and you can see all the pain written on my face. The nightmares, cold sweats, I don't wanna live. Sleep sessions, yeah, something's gotta give. I used to be emotional, now emotionless. I don't even care no more, I don't even give a I don't like to be in crowds, I stay away from all. I'm safe by myself, I roll with one homie, my loaded gun on me. My mind keeps working and playing tricks on me. Every noise I hear, I'm ready, let's go. My body's here at home, my mind's still at war. Yeah, I stay alone, don't bother me. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just wanna be all alone, don't bother me. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just want the pain to go away, far away from me. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. It's a really long road, I'm talking hella far. I can't turn back now, keep going, go hard. I'm proud who I am, my country I serve. When I feel down and out, I just read Proverbs. I know what I've been through, I did what I had to. Can't forget about the past, though I tried to. I want this pain to get away from me. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I'ma be okay, oh yeah, like you used to be. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I'ma be cool now, the pain went away from me. On the road to recovery. On this road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I'ma be okay, oh yeah, like you used to be. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I'ma be cool now, the pain went away from me. On the road to recovery. On this road to recovery.
like so many songs from Soldier Heart and other artists on the Redcon 1 label, that really speaks to me.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, and as Soldier Heart was saying before we got the opportunity to play the song for you, they had members of each branch that are in a video that goes along with this song. But the important thing about that is this is talking about recovery from post-traumatic stress disorder brought on by the extreme stresses and fear for your life while you're in the combat theater. Even if you're not directly fighting in the combat theater, you can be in fear of your life every day because of incoming mortar shells and other scenarios that I'm sure you can imagine in your mind. And so it's a vital subject, and to get that out for the young generation and the mill hop genre, the kind of things that they listen to and understand and talk about being on the road to recovery and that it works is mightily
well, and you bring up a good point, Glenn, because as the Vietnam veterans were coming back, they were facing all kinds of resistance from the World War II veterans not liking their music and this and that. I hope we've learned. I hope society has graduated to the next level where we're going to at least give these guys the time of day and listen to the words and the music and see what impact it has on this generation. You know, we got to open up these lines of communication and welcome our warriors back.
Exactly, and you know, when they went around, Soldier Heart and a couple of them went around when they were here, and I don't know, that's been a year and a half ago, I think, by now.
We had them on tour at about half a dozen places.
Yeah, half a dozen of the posts, like VFWs and American Legions, and at first they were skeptical. The audience, who were much older veterans than the younger generation of veterans that are fighting the wars and protecting our freedoms today, but they were willing to listen, and after they listened for a bit, they said, you know, I'm 82 years old, and that, you know, you really opened my eyes with that song. I really thought that spoke to what I feel.
Bringing rap to a new generation, a couple of the guys, old Korean war vets, had tears in their eyes saying it really hit home and it meant something to them. So, folks, give a listen to this music. This is what the guys are putting out there, and not for a number of different reasons, but it's one way that they have to address, as he's talking about, the reintegration issues, and they're kind of like therapy through music. And I know our troops on the front lines are appreciating this. You mentioned something else, Glenn, when we had General Buchanan on, and I asked him the question about the morale of the troops on the quote-unquote front lines. Remember what he said? He said there really aren't any front lines.
Yeah, everywhere's a front line, basically, is what he said, and that's true. So, you know, that speaks back to the causative factor. The main causative factor for post-traumatic stress disorder is, were you in a combat theater and you were put in a situation where you were in fear for your life? Well, you're doggone right, with these improvised explosive devices, and they've got snipers, and they've got mortars being thrown at you. You know, you've heard about the green zone, that big protected zone where all the headquarters was established in Iraq, and they experienced mortar attacks and sniper attacks on a frequent basis there. So, you know, being in a protected zone doesn't protect you from those kind of things. And of course, we all know, unfortunately, about the people willing to strap bombs on themselves and blow themselves up to kill you and other innocents. All of that exists in there, and even though we're pulling out of Iraq, we're still in there full bang in Afghanistan. So,
and we got to support these guys and gals every way that we can. They're undergoing experiences outside the realm of normal human life. I mean, that's this stress, this 24/7, 365 stress. And it's not just one tour; it's 3, 4, even 7 tours now.
Right.
We're robbing these folks of not only their families' opportunity to grow up with a mom, or usually dad. We've got a lot more men, but you know, I did read something recently where 8% of our active military force now is women. We've got a lot of female warriors out there, and that's maybe a topic we'll be able to touch on here in a moment. But I just wanted to throw this out there again. It's not just Soldier Heart on this record label. RedconMusicGroup.com, just like it says, REDCON musicgroup.com, Redcon Music group.com. And I thought Soldier Heart did a good job of describing how they came up with that name.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I think as older people like me I was thinking of the word DEFCON, which was Defense Condition 54321. If you saw that movie, I don't remember the name right off the top of my head, where the crazy guy got on the bomb and wrote it down, the nuclear bomb from a B-52. But DEFCON, and that's the new replacement terminology for DEFCON is readiness con.
And you talked about that video that goes in conjunction with this song. I urge all of you to check it out. You can go to avetproject.org and find the link for Soldier Heart and Redcon 1, or you can visit soldierheart.com. The video speaks volumes. I mean, the music is great and it tells the message and the story, but to see it played out it was really well done. The video is like top drawer. It's very good. So I encourage everybody out there in Radio Land to check that out. And we're going to have some other artists from Redcon 1 on at a future date, so stay listening for that. But we got a couple things we want to talk about that are important and near and dear to you. You got a case you're working on just recently here that's real troubling.
Yeah, and I need to share this with people because unfortunately we're experiencing more of this, and it's a function of especially in our county, we have a high number of aged people and veterans. We had the highest number of veterans over age 65 in the state of Florida live in our county, and that kind of mirrors the general population. And of course, what I'm interested in talking to you about are veterans and their surviving spouses who might be eligible for the VA pension benefit in particular. But here's a scenario I just dealt with today, and unfortunately, it's not the first time we've had a similar one, so I think it's a coming thing, and I don't know what's going on. I've got to do a lot more research with the players, but we had an older lady who's on VA pension in an assisted living facility. That's how she qualified for the pension, was the cost that assisted living facility helped reduce her income. And she fell, as many old people tend to do, I think broke her hip, as many tend to do. So went to a rehabilitation nursing home. And of course, when they go in there, they don't have we don't know how long you're going to be here is basically the deal, because we don't know how you're going to react to the rehabilitation and if the rehabilitation is going to take. And in her case it took, but when she went to the rehabilitation nursing home, having an unpredictable amount of time that she would be there, for some reason they changed the bank account to one that the rehab nursing home was familiar with from the one that the lady had before. And then it long story short, she did rehabilitate and got to go back to an assisted living facility. Good thing, didn't have to go into a nursing home. But when she went back to the assisted living facility, the account was changed back to the account she had before. Well, here's what happened. The lady at the assisted living facility says, well, she hasn't been getting any money this whole year. And I think it's because they stopped it when she went in the nursing home. And I said, well, that doesn't have anything to do with it. There's something more to it than that. And so I did due diligence and research, and fortunately was able to get access to her record on the VA computer site, and I found out they hadn't been paying her since the 1st of February of 2011 because they paid her once in February, and the money bounced back to them, said no account with this bank.
So the VA got information that the account was closed, and
so boom, they shut it off.
So nobody had followed up and re-implemented the previous account.
Re-implement it, and the only way to re-implement it is to get the VA the information. Here's the account number, the bank name, and the routing transit number, so that the direct deposit can be reinstated. And folks, if you filed a claim, this is a good time to remind you, if you started your claim after May of 2011, the VA will no longer pay you by a hard check. They will pay you either direct deposit to your bank account, or if for some reason you don't have a bank account, not to worry. They're going to send you a debit card now. They will not pay a hard check. And if you're getting a hard check, your time's running out for that. I would suggest to you to find a bank account.
To get a bank account. So this poor lady went nearly the entire year without any pay because the VA didn't have a bank account that it recognized could pay to.
Yeah, and everybody thought it was okay.
So is this something
normal?
Can you change your bank account? Let's say, okay, good example. This is the middle of December. Could I make that change and expect that the VA would have that information updated by the 1st of January?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, that's a big NO.
That's a big NO. The rule of thumb is at least 45 days, but the better plan of attack is you go open the new bank account. You notify the VA of the credentials that they need to transfer the money, direct deposit into the new bank. You leave the old bank account open. Let everything clear there in case the VA takes longer than projected and sends an additional check, and that way you'll still get it because you still have the old bank account open. When you start getting your VA money at the new bank account and you're sure everything is cleared the old one, then you can close out the old bank account. Don't do it this way. It's
good advice.
Bad news.
Good advice. Stay with us, folks, on American Warrior Radio right here on WMEL. We'll be back in a flash.
Stephen Hobbs, Redcon 1, Afghanistan in June. I got my boy Soldier Hard on the beat, you know what I'm saying? Say, homie, they want to know what an American warrior is. Yeah. Anybody that served in the United States military honorably. Yeah, you dig? Yeah. I said I never quit fighting. Looking at the enemy, I'll never be frightened. Got my country on my chest, multi-cam on my vest. They done put me through the test, now I put Taliban to rest. Walking with pride, I got a lot I gotta prove. I'm a soldier, a warrior, homie, it's what I do. Got a license to protect and a duty to defend. When I ain't fighting for our country, I motivate with this pen. Been holding it down since 2007. Fry the enemy like bacon, and I ain't talking about Kevin. In my M-rap, I stay strapped. Extra rounds in my backpack. If they shooting at us, we shooting back. Yeah, dog, it's like that. What you know about IEDs? Killing our soldiers overseas. I signed up, no questions asked. They ain't even have to ask me. Now I'm here and I'm fighting proud. Homie, I'm a soldier. Right, but left the ready with my flag on my shoulder. A soldier, a warrior, a member of the team. Serve the people of the United States by any means. I would never accept defeat. I never quit trying. I never let a fellow comrade fall behind. I stand ready to deploy and engage. I'm a guardian of freedom in the American way. I'm a warrior, an American warrior. I'm a warrior, an American warrior. Okay, let's get it in for the women and servicemen. I came prepared and brought my game like ESPN. Yeah, 30-round magazine, fully loaded. Guessing on the beat, I said my flow so bloated. I can make any track slap like a bad husband. Like I'm spitting liquor, by the way, I keep the fams busting. I ain't worried about the outcome, the message gon' be clear. You can hate it or love it, but your freedom is still here. Cause the warriors like me that's fighting for you overseas. It's 249, M4s, and M16s. We don't do this for the money, dog, and leave that. We want support, not pity, we don't need that. You won't stand behind us and feel free to stand in front. You can tell that to the tankers and the grunts. I bet you won't. Some people don't realize how much we sacrifice. We the reason that you sleeping good at night. Enough said. Soldier, a warrior, a member of the team. Serve the people of the United States by any means. I would never accept defeat. I never quit trying. I never let a fellow comrade fall behind. I stand ready to deploy and engage. I'm a guardian of freedom in the American way. I'm a warrior, an American warrior. I'm a warrior, an American warrior. Everybody, while I take you on the tour with me, I'ma tell you how it is and then y'all how it be. If I fight, you see traces flying hella near. I used to scream hella loud on the battlefield. Always ready, yeah. Red out of hygiene. Firefight broke out, straight pandemonium. All of us letting loose, all of us busting guns. Some sort of hygiene drop, we sent them all to hell. We ain't get here once, yeah, we still hell. Alpha whiskey, American warrior. We ain't never said hell, nah, we will bury ya. We fight hard, that's the oath of American. We went for the call, y'all to get sent again. I'm a soldier, a warrior, a member of the team. Serve the people of the United States by any means. I would never accept defeat. I never quit trying. I never let a fellow comrade fall behind. I stand ready to deploy and engage. I'm a guardian of freedom in the American way. I'm a warrior, an American warrior. I'm a warrior, an American warrior. So I'm live in Afghanistan right now, and I'm hearing Soldier Boy tell him it's dissing the army and all of his soldiers. What the fuck was you thinking, dog? What was running through your head? Like, what did you think was gonna come from this? I mean, other than the ass whooping, obviously, somebody gonna beat the shit out your little skit.